Hey guys, it's Sonia popping on. We have our first piece to flip. Can you say excited? I'm excited. By the way, tell me if you can hear me because we have no AC in the building and it's been terribly hot. I think we have a dome over us at this point. Hello, Nicole. Nice to see ya. Tell me where you're watching from, friend. And so I have a fan to here on to the side just to kind of like keep some airflow because if not, it's very humid. So tell me if you can hear me okay. If not, I will move it further back. But I wanted to just show you something, just how worlds collide, right? But a friend of mine gave this to me yesterday, having no idea kind of like what we're doing here behind the scenes, the chit chats that we've been having, the possibility of bringing back Junk Monkey paint, putting our feelers out there, and seeing if anybody's painting, if there's any interest to provide it to the masses. But for myself, personally, I am making Junk Monkey paint again because I am looking to purchase a home on the island that I'm from. If you've been watching for a while, you've seen that all the beautiful videos of home. I went home this summer or I just got back this week and I'm like, yeah, I need to spend more time here. So anyhow, this is piece one on the very beginning journey of, I'm going to call it, I'm going to break it up in legs, but this is this is my journey of flipping furniture to make 10K, to make $10,000. I'm a big believer that you can make money with furniture. I have done it. I have changed my life through it. I moved countries and started from the very beginnings and had nothing and had to regrow. And how I did it was stepping into the furniture world. It came really natural to me, finding all the furniture out there, wanting to make my home beautiful, and then also painting it. I couldn't stop painting it. And then people would be like, you know what? Can you paint mine? Or do you have any pieces for sale? And before you know it, things happen. So tell me if you know, if you've been with us for a long time. Hey, Melissa, Julie, Cindy, Donna. So nice to see you. Hey, Dee. So anyway, a friend came yesterday and we were catching up after the trip out of the country and she brought this into me. Do you see what it is? It's funny. Even when we take pauses from Junk Monkey paint, I am always associated with the monkey. Like, I am forever your dance monkey, as I posted yesterday. So anyway, that came into my life yesterday, and I'm like, you know what? I am the ambassador of the monkey. We like to fling some paint. We like to have a little fun, a little hooting and hollering, go bananas, right? So, but I do believe, I'm a big believer that you can, if you need to make some money, that you can flip furniture. Furniture is a currency. Everybody loves furniture, needs furniture. It's because it's the creature inside of us that wants to build a beautiful nest. Therefore, I believe there's so much furniture swapping going on. I know people who wake up every day and they check Facebook Marketplace because they're always looking for new deals, new things. And tell me if you're a junker like me as well, where you'll just forever be a scrappy junker. You don't need to pay full price. Like this piece right here. I was talking to Matt last night. You guys probably watched the live video yesterday where we went to Ambets. We kind of starting to do a look of like what's the prices. I do find that the prices have seemed to be cheaper over in Ohio, but I do like the treasure hunt, so I'm okay with just kind of picking in here and there, popping in and seeing what's new. And so I did learn that this piece here I paid $9.98 for. That the furniture also does apply to the half off tag. So that means that when they have like half off whatever tag at Amvets, this is where I got this one. All the different thrift stores have their own sort of little thing going on, right? Hey, Barb, how are you? Susie, Regina, Pam, Michelle, Julie. So knowing now, I'm going to start to like learn their tags every week of what they do. So I think it's orange tag week, but if it was red, that means I would have gotten this for $5. You see? And then the cheaper you can get it, the more profit that you can actually make. But I'm somebody who's always, when I started off, and I still am that person, that I just love to throw some paint on, right? It doesn't have to be getting crazy and painting anything crazy designs over it and overwhelming yourself. And is somebody going to like that? Because right now I'm flipping furniture to make money. And so we're making history today because I'm going to show you. The first bucket of Junk Monkey just came hot off the press. Barb says, happy Sunday. Is it Sunday? Is it Sunday? No, I think it's Saturday, isn't it? Oh my gosh, I don't know. Don't even ask me. I don't even know the days of the weeks. I came back from Newfoundland. I don't even know. Can't wait to see the final piece. I remember when you painted kitchen cupboards. Oh my gosh, I used to do a set of kitchen cupboards a week. Remember that? I actually grew an inch like during that year. I kid you not. I would be reaching for the stars, painting kitchen cabinets for people, and I went for like a doctor's appointment. You know how they do the check-in on you when you first go in, and she's like, "Okay, all right, you're 5'5". I'm like, "No, I'm 5'4". And she's like, "No, honey, you're 5'5". And I'm like, "Well, I've been 5'4" for a very long time, right?" She's like, get back up here again. We'll double check it. And she like literally like moved the thing. And she's like, "No, you are an inch taller." And I'm like, and I was thinking to myself, well, that's weird because you usually don't grow an inch taller. But the only thing I could pin it on was that I would reach up so far to paint kitchen cabinets on my tippy toes that I just stretched myself out so tall. So look at this, like all the many benefits of painting furniture, right? Not only do you get to make cool pieces, the thrill, the hunt, the painting, the flipping, you can make a little money, but you can also, you know what, have great posture too. So that did help. So I started to say about how my idea for designs is for what I'm doing. I got myself a book, by the way. Tell me if you too love, well, if you love pink and you like color, but also you love some stationery. So I will forever be that person that does not have an agenda on my phone. I have an actual physical agenda to look at because I like pens and paper and stationery and those things. I'm a very tactile, visual person, which is probably why I'm a creative and love to paint. So this morning I stopped and I got myself a book. So I am flipping furniture to make my first goal of $10,000. And I know that I can do it because I've done it before. And I know the power of paint and I know the power of furniture. So if you can create something beautiful and put it out there. But I'm not going to start with like any crazy designs. You know how I love to paint flowers. You've seen me this week. I painted puffins and jellyfish and all that sort of stuff. That's all beautiful things, but then your piece becomes literally super beautiful art. And then art is, you know, in the eye of the beholder. And so you have to find somebody and match somebody that's going to love that specific piece. So if you choose to go and paint some wild flowers and things like that, which is absolutely beautiful, and I've done that before, but it takes a lot longer to find your ideal client. And that is because you're pigeonholing yourself into a specific design, right? Like if I paint sunflowers, I love sunflowers, but not everybody does, right? What? How can you not love sunflowers? Mary Grace says, me too. Hey, Tracy, good to see ya. So I'll show you the first bucket of Junk Monkey, all right? Hot off the press. I'll show you what the color I'm starting in, but what I just said should kind of reinforce to you why I decided to do this color first, and you will recognize this color. So I've got myself a notebook. What I'm gonna do is document every day. And I'm going to have to pick up the pace because I'm just kind of gathering my tools, putting things back together. This is day one of flipping a piece. I'm going to have this piece finished by the end of today. Anybody do that when you were younger where you put like stickers on your fingernails and be like, oh my gosh, I can't wait till I can have like long nails? And then you decide to be a furniture painter and you realize it really doesn't work. Barb, are you really cooking Jig's dinner today? Oh my goodness gracious. Send me over some. Oh, I love that. I went home and Dad had a whole garden planted of like root vegetables and stuff like that. And that is why I want a home back on the island, is because I want to be in the garden. I want to be harvesting potatoes and I want to be like making my own jams and jellies. And I want to, I just want to get back in touch with all that sort of thing, right? And we're going to do it. We're going to do it. So I got my book. And I'm going to stick this tag here. After I peeled it off, I'm like, I probably should have kept it neater. But what I'm going to start doing is logging everything, what the pieces are, what I did with them, when I painted it, when it sold, and how much it sold for. So if you want to follow that progress. But when I get done, I will have my first 10K. And we're going to do it, right? So I'll show you the color that I got because, like I said, I want to go universal. If you want your stuff to sell quickly, paint for the masses and not for a very specific customer. All right. By the way, tell me if you can hear me with the fan on, or I could turn it off if it's bothersome. I'll sweat it out for you. We'll sweat with the oldies. All right. So I introduce to you a very first bucket of JunkMonkey paint. Anybody know the color? Anybody recognize this color? It has a specific name onto it. This big vat of paint. I had Matt put this together for me. And so today is a day of quality control, of beautiful testing. And we're going to flip this piece together. But let me know if you know what it might be. You can. Oh, good. Thank you, Tracy. I appreciate that. So, yeah. So this is our very first batch of paint. And so Matt's like, have you tried it yet? You know, because we actually went from making our own paint, which I should show you the dinosaur of a blender that we had, okay? The many moons of paint colors onto it. But we actually went from making our own paint by hand with our own very special recipe. And I was just talking to Matt, and I'm like, do you remember when we last stopped making it by hand? Because we got so popular with paint, not even meaning to, knowing that it would even happen. That poor Matt, if you talk to him, he'd be like, my arm really fell off. I really lost my arm at that point. Oh, you do remember. Yes, you do, Kathy. Black Velvet. Jerry says Black Velvet. You got it. And Black Velvet. That was always a classic. And you guys love this color. So, you know what? I think it's a good one. I kept the same black. There's many blacks created in this world because they take on different sort of looks to them, but this was always a classic. And I know from history that people always love this color, but I am going to start with a whole thing of black because as I build in and create all these pieces, that's a universal color. It's going to match a lot of things versus my love of teal or hot pink or anything like that, right? There's a place for all those things. But if you're somebody as well that would like to make money flipping furniture, I'm going to tell you, go with a classic color. So black is always a good one. Go with a neutral, like antique lace, you know, or even a midnight blue and navy. Start off with those. And then I also love to batch things out. So for the next few days, I'm going to be using all this paint up. And I'm going to be having fun with that. And yep, absolutely. Just totally, you guys can look in the bucket with me and be like, what? Oh, Shelly says, sold it in mason jars. Yes. Shelly, I love the mason jar. I love the mason jar. But the mason jar is not great for shipping, so that wasn't fun. All right, so I'm doing tests. Matt's like, all right, test it for me. You know, and we're going back to the old recipe of what we used to do. And so I was sitting here, and I was painting with it. So these ducks, this is an example, all right, of, I bought this set of thrifted duck bookends, and they're fabulous. I left them in actually brown, just like this here, just natural, and these guys have been here forever, talking to each other, going crazy. And so I had a conversation with them yesterday, and I'm like, would you guys like a new wardrobe? I mean, do you want to be dapper ducks, okay? Because I could put you dapper ducks in some black velvet, but you have to be willing to, you know, do you consent to this? And we had a conversation, and they said yes. So this was fun. So I just started this, and I got to show you, okay? I got to show you how fun this is. Because when I did this, I'm like, oh my gosh. I'm going to get giddy. All right. So this is the first batch of Junk Monkey paint that we have handmade since the year, we believe, of 2007. This color is indeed, you guys called it, Black Velvet, the Junk Monkey paint that sticks to pretty much anything under the sun, and it just allows you to really quick flip things, right? So this is me painting everything in sight and making a mess. What are you gonna do? Could be worse, right? There's worse things you could be at. So I'm gonna paint these guys up, let them sit, and then come back and do some kind of distressing and things like that with them. But this is like the beginnings of my testings, right? You can see that. We love that color. All right, so this guy over here, I already started on. And if you know me, so things are starting to dry, just making sure everything is still good to go. And happy with that paint formula. Move this out of the way. And then I love to come in and I love to do some distressing. And we know that when you sand, everything will mute down, and when you seal, everything will pop up. Who remembers all the hours we spent doing this? I know, right? Tracy says all those years and her cabinets have still held up. Well, we made the paint with love, truly made it with love. Wouldn't put anything out there that I wouldn't paint with, that I wouldn't want you to paint with. And so, you know, we wanted to make a beautiful product. So we distress it. But for anybody who's new, when I say this, because it's been many moons and a lot of you guys are joining me for the very first time, is, you know, the moment, I'm sticking my fingers in some monkey shine that Matt made. But the moment that you do put on your sealer, it makes it all pop back to life, right? So all part of the process. I think I just rubbed paint on there, but all part of the process, you can kind of see it coming back to life. So that's pretty much it in a nutshell. And I'm gonna come back to you, Dapper Ducks. Don't worry, I will be back. But now we're gonna paint this guy here. I'm gonna move this bucket because I don't want to, I'm gonna do a quick sand first. And I don't want to get sand dust in there. But this is a piece, I've logged it in my book, $9.98. And this is a piece that we're gonna flip. So I'm gonna have this flip today. I'm just gonna use a 60 grit sandpaper. Cover your ears. Somebody sing, la la la. So this is a gloss finish on it. I'm just gonna go over it to knock sort of any raised surfaces, but also it helps open up the pores of the paint. Just like when you go to get your nails done, that they buff it before they put the polish on, and that will always help your paint stay on longer, right? Stay on better. It literally gives it tooth. And this is not a crazy, like a few pieces of paint were raised up there, it kind of curled back. So I do want to make sure those are gone. Now, sometimes when I paint, I look at the undercolor and I'm like, that could be cool. We could have that come through. I would not be opposed to that. But I feel like somebody who's going to be a planty person will love this. Anybody out there that loves to, oh, you can see I was starting to do a test here. Anybody out there that loves plants? Does a really good job at keeping plants alive. I've stepped into my plant era as well. It's good. Take time to smell the flowers. Since this was painted, I'm just going to go over this. Over the top. But this actually is, I believe, to be a mid-century modern piece. And I think there was actually like brass little end caps on the feet of it. All right, guys. So I'm going to turn the fan off. Tell me if it makes a difference for you guys. Everybody take a big, is it hot where you are? You are, let me know. Now, typically I like to use a little brush or a microfiber cloth, but I haven't got that dug out of all my stash yet. So I'm just gonna use a paper towel. You could also dampen your paper towel as well. Okay. Pretty cool, right? So what I was thinking, how cool would it be? Like this is like who I see using this piece. So this is mid-century modern, and it's the real deal, the actual vintage piece. And if you look up a lot of modern recreated pieces, like can you believe right now this a basic piece that kind of looks like this is on sale at Target for like $179. We paid $9.98, okay? And I'm happy with that because I'm a junk monkey, and I look for ways to recreate things without breaking the bank. And so by the time I'm done with this, again, this is a very specific paint job for somebody, but I'm looking to put it in a new black dress. Let me get in a good position here to get in my bucket. And there we go. So if you remember, our paint is made in a way where it's nice and thick, yet flowy. And you're gonna get that awesome coverage that I love. But here's what I see for in the future. And here's how I'm gonna stage it. So I'm thinking about really using, I might even put some like copper highlights or something onto it. I think that would be kind of cool, look good. I could distress it back if I wanted to and have a little bit of that paint color come through. I tend to paint distressed. And I feel like it gives whoever buys it, you know, it's those cozy vibes, right, that we love. But I also feel like it gives the person who buys it, like, you know, if somebody knocks into it, it's okay. I used to always say when I had painted furniture, it's okay, you can't break it. It's shabby. It's all good. Nobody's gonna know if that dent was supposed to be there, if you put it there or I put it there. But I could see a little bit of distressing going on, and nobody would really know. They'd be like, what is the, you know, those colors onto it? And you'd be like, well, I know that's some peacock stuff going on there, but to the person who owns it, it would be like, that's cool. There's colors on it. So I'm gonna have this piece done tonight. I will go live again this evening and show you me finishing it up and also what I'm gonna price it at. So when I say that I have to pick up the pace, it means that I've got to paint a bunch of pieces of furniture. And, you know, painting one piece of furniture and then selling it, well, that will be a slow process. So when you have multiple pieces and multiple pieces for people to pick from, then you're, you know, you have a greater chance, right, of finding that buyer. So is anybody out there painting right now? Let me know. Tell me what you're up to. Did I see Shelly's working on a mirror? By the way, is Rebecca here? Last night on my live, I didn't see it until after, but Rebecca was talking about how, we're talking about on furniture on the live about finding things in your furniture after you've purchased it. And if I'm not mistaken, she wrote a post on the video about how somebody in her town found $45,000. Rebecca, are you here? Tell us more. Not in love with this brush. I have to get my favorite brush out. I gotta find my brushes. They're everywhere. Can you imagine finding, I mean, I have found diamond gold rings, or I should say a ring. I found many rings, but one in particular I'm thinking of. It was a whole cluster of diamonds and gold. Just never know. People, you know, do that. They stick money in envelopes and things like that. And they forget it's there, or maybe they died. And their furniture gets donated. You know, the estates clean it out. And little did you know that, you know, Grandma put it in a sock and a crock. All the money, all the cash. But yeah, old newspaper clippings, all those sorts of things, right? Pretty wild. Pretty wild. Yeah, $45,000, lucky Shelly. We actually had a lady, weird things like that happen, right? We had a lady leave $6,000 in cash at our front desk. We were just in an envelope, like one of those banker's envelopes, you know, when you go to the bank and they give it to you in an envelope back. And luckily we were able to, we knew like the last person that was there, and we could match it up on camera, and we were able to get with them to get it back to them. But yeah, $6,000 in cash, right? And you're like, nobody has $6,000 in cash anymore, just kind of laying around. All right, well, this is a workout without a fan. I can't work in these conditions. I'll have to get some airflow for my next project. Or move my fan further away, guys. All right, she's looking pretty good. She's looking classic. She's looking classy. Oh, I gotta get something to drink. So it looks like my other side I'm going to need. Excuse me while I go to the other side. But yeah, I'll pop back on tonight. Now I'm thinking about doing some gold edging because I love gold. Tell me if you do too. So what I'll do is I'll walk away from this, come back. The other thing I've got to do is turn it upside down, because if you're going to sell furniture to the public, listen, you don't want the horrors of like loading something up in the back. They bought it, and then you go out to help them load it, and you're like, oh my gosh, I missed a spot underneath. Just don't ever look at your furniture from that view. But yeah, so I had to turn it upside down. And then I'll probably flip it back up, get any other places that I've missed. But yeah, that's looking pretty fabulous. I am happy with that. Scared to see my face because I think I just wiped my face with paint. I remember the time I painted red cabinets, and then red cabinets, I was there for a week painting red cabinets, and it was about an hour drive, so I'd stop every evening, stop in, get myself like, you know, my favorite chips, drink, bar, whatever, to hold myself over till I got back home, because I love my snackies. That's how you lure me into the back of a van, is you tell me you have snacks. And but I would stop, and I'd be covered in red, like it looked like blood red. It was just like really red. It was gorgeous. Country red kitchen she was going for. And I would stop in, and I'd have like, it looked like blood all over me, right? I don't know what this woman is doing. I should report her to the police or what? All right, friends, I'm pretty happy with that. I think I should let it dry. Gotta turn my fan back on. The humidity is redonkulous. But there we go. She's looking pretty classic, right? Woohoo! So that's fun. So yes, this was our first batch here by hand, and Matt will be in to inspect, and we'll talk about it, get the formula the way we love it, and go from there. But this piece will be done today, and it will be for sale tomorrow. And so I'll pop on tonight and show you the progress, because I can't do anything else right now. And with the heat, sometimes it's just best to let things dry on its own versus taking out your heat gun, because that's when you get kind of bubbling action that starts. Not a good time. Now, if I decide to do some distressing, if I missed any spots that I don't see, when I distress, it's going to distress back too, right? But yeah. So here's what I'm thinking. The person that will get this one will probably love plants. I don't have a plant here with me right now, but I'm just picturing a couple of, this is how I'll probably stage it in the end. A couple of vintage books, and then a nice potted plant over the side of it. And that's how I think I'll do some pictures for like Facebook Marketplace, and stage it in my shop. But my work here is done. I am now going to go have some lunch. Let me step back here so I don't put my hair in it. Have some lunch and cool down a little bit, turn a couple fans on, I think, and then come back and take a look at it. But tonight I'll pop on. I might do some edging tonight and some copper, or make the decision if I want to distress back, even just a little bit lightly, like I say. That's kind of like what I love to personally do. Nice. Okay, so I will see you tonight. Barb says she can't wait to see the finished product. Me either. Me either. I'm going to show up for that. So I'll probably pop on live tonight. Let me think here. I don't know. I might pop on live tonight about 8:30. What do you think? If you're around, check back in, because I'm going to get this piece finished today. And tomorrow I'll do the staging photos, and, you know, it'll all come together. And as I stand here, I see spots I missed. Do the staging photos, and that way she can be off to the market. But I've got a couple pieces already lined up behind this piece, so I'm going to, I'd like to do a couple pieces a day, so that way I can pump it out, put it on Facebook Marketplace and in my shop, and start that, you know, meeting my goal of 10K. All right, who's here for it? Give me a whoop whoop if you're here for it. All right, bye guys. I'm gonna go find water. See ya. Stay cool.